Big news coming in. Superstar Salman Khan has received a death threat. That's the big news now coming in. Superstar Salman Khan has been at the receiving end of a death threat letter. And the letter states here, which is very alarming, I quote the letter content, "You will die like Moosewala," and death to Salman. Remember, this death threat is not only just to Salman Khan, but also his father, director Salim Khan. This threat letter has been found, as I'm getting some initial information from the Bandra bandstand. Why this is now being linked to what happened to Moosewala, remember, one of the gangsters, Lawrence Bishnoi, who is currently behind bars, is also in a custody of special cell of the Delhi police, had also earlier, remember, in public, given a chilling, blatant threat to Salman Khan. Now the Mumbai cops have lodged a case after this death threat and a letter that has been received. Absolutely shocking. We're trying to get some details about where this letter has been found by the Mumbai police. If there is any link that has been found, is it just a miscreant element? How is the police taking this seriously? But why it's important to understand, remember, that the man on your screen there in circle is Lawrence Bishnoi. He had openly made a death threat to Salman Khan. That was with regard to the blackbuck case. But now, with the murder, brutal murder in broad daylight of Punjab musician Sidhu Moosewala, no such threat can be taken lightly at all. So the letter that has now been found, where it's blatantly written, "You will die like Moosewala," death to Salman. The threat has come not just to Salman Khan but also to his father. The letter was found at Bandra bandstand. But there's no clarity yet about where this letter has come from, what is the meaning of an anonymous letter like that. But it does gain significance because just a few days ago, Moosewala was killed with that indiscriminate non-stop shootout against him while he was travelling. We are trying to get you the latest on that from our reporters. But that's the big news right now that we are breaking to you on India Today, that superstar Salman Khan, who's one of the biggest names of the Hindi film industry, he is one of the biggest superstars and already does have his entourage of security with him. So, of course, there have been threats against Salman Khan earlier as well. But this time, with a letter surfacing like this in the backdrop of the killing of Moosewala, clearly the Mumbai cops will want to take this very seriously and analyze all angles with this case. Now, why this is important is, apart from this, remember, AP Dhillon, who's also a very popular Punjabi singer but based in Canada, and he'd also said that people don't really realize the level of threat perception, the negativity, the trolling that Punjabi musicians are facing. But it's not just clearly restricted to that. Salman Khan also appears to have now received a death threat letter. But there's no clarity yet about if there is a name mentioned, about who is it from. No one has taken a responsibility yet, but the man on your screens in the middle of the screen is Lawrence Bishnoi, currently behind bars. At least he had once made a blatant threat in public, on camera, to Salman Khan. He's currently behind prison. He's already under the custody of the special cell, and the allegation against him is if he's anyway involved in the murder of Sidhu Moosewala. So that's the big news coming in. We'll try and get a reaction from the industry as well. But in the past as well, remember, film personalities, specifically in the Hindi film industry, have had death threats from either the underworld, the Dawood gang, or this time it appears is being directly linked to Sidhu Moosewala. So is it just a miscreant trying to create a sensation? Is this a death threat letter that the Mumbai police will really want to consider and ensure that they take it very seriously, not take any chances this time? Will security be tightened for Salman Khan? Right, so that's the latest initial information that I can confirm to you. That one, let's take a look at that in sequence. A death letter gets received to Salman Khan at the Bandra bandstand, the area where a lot of these celebrities live, including Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan and many others. But why this gains prominence is for two reasons. One, the letter clearly mentions, and I quote the letter content here, "You will die like Moosewala." Now, this clear reference is in the backdrop of just a few days ago how Sidhu Moosewala, a Punjabi musician at 28 years of age, was shot dead in Mansa district in Punjab. But prior to that, Lawrence Bishnoi, a gangster currently under custody, facing allegations of plotting Sidhu Moosewala's murder, though he has denied it, but the allegation is against him. The trail is being checked by the police. He had openly made a death threat to Salman Khan, stating that, he'd given a very blatant death threat against Salman Khan. Now, why I would want you to now just go a little back and listen into what Lawrence Bishnoi had said. This was in 2018, the threat that had come from Lawrence Bishnoi to Salman Khan, very confidently making a death threat. Listen into what Lawrence Bishnoi had said in 2018.
जब भी कोई कमिटमेंट करो तो पॉजिटिव करना, नेगेटिव नहीं करना। और शिकार टाइगर जैसे शिकार कोई नहीं करता, है ना? ये सबको पता है। जब भी कोई कमिटमेंट करो तो पॉजिटिव करना, नेगेटिव नहीं करना। और शिकार टाइगर जैसे शिकार कोई नहीं करता, है ना? ये सबको पता है। जब भी कोई कमिटमेंट करो तो पॉजिटिव करना, नेगेटिव नहीं करना। और शिकार टाइगर जैसे शिकार कोई नहीं करता, है ना? ये सबको पता है। जब भी कोई कमिटमेंट करो तो पॉजिटिव करना, नेगेटिव नहीं करना। और शिकार टाइगर जैसे शिकार कोई नहीं करता, है ना? ये सबको पता है।